Good morning, everyone. So today's rant is going to be semi-contained because of the interest of time. So I have missed 2 weeks of therapy, not on purpose, but they are changing my counselors, and I guess that changeover process cost me 2 weeks worth of sessions as far as time is concerned, which is another reason why I started to give myself an opportunity to rant. And I tried to be optimistic about it, but I found myself having moments where I struggled more than usual. And I don't know if it's because I had broken something in my routine or because of the absence of that service. So I guess we will see based on how the session goes today. In any case, I'm excited, but I'm also frustrated because I know that this process of healing and discovery and love and growth for myself is a process, and it's not linear. I know that there's no way for me to really truly master like this skill, because at any given time my emotion or a trigger will warrant a certain response. And so I'm trying to have more compassion with myself. I use the example of potty training my children, right? I can teach them. No, you know what? Potty training is a topic that's kind of touchy. So I'll use, for instance, the teaching my children to write their letters, right? How lowercase b and d are opposite mirror image of each other, and p and q, right? And they're all some kind of reflection or inversion of each other. And so sometimes they'll write it correctly, and sometimes they'll write it incorrectly. It doesn't mean that they don't know it. It just happens sometimes. Even when they beat themselves up about it, right? Like my daughter, she's like, I don't know how to do it. And it's like, it's okay, baby. It is okay. I try to have compassion for her because I know that I taught it to her, and I know she knows how to do it. But in that instance where she doesn't do it right, and I'm telling her I know she can do it, it doesn't really bring her comfort, because I feel in her head she's like, if I knew how to do it, I would have done it. But the more you practice, the fewer those mistakes will make, right? As adults, there's some words that after you look at it time and time and time again, you wonder if it's spelled correctly. But you've known how to say and spell this word for years and write this word for years. But every blue moon, it just doesn't look right, right? And you kind of wonder, like, hey, said, S-A-I-D, S-A-I-D, said, yeah, S-A-I-D. There's no other way I would spell it, right? S-A-I-D. But the more you look at it, the more you hover over it, you start to question yourself. But the reality is, you know how to do it. You've done it for so many years. Even in the cases you do spell it wrong, there's nothing wrong with you. It just happened, and it's a simple mistake. And that's the kind of thought process I try to have with my triggers, with my reactions to things. And that's why I don't want to place heavy blame on me not having therapy sessions, over, missing those 2 therapy lessons or having them absent from my life and my routine. But at the same time, recognizing not having that outlet might have made it easier to avoid, internalize, ignore some things that I normally would have addressed during that session. I've been able to have an opportunity to unpack in that lesson, in that session. It's a new counselor, so that's an issue for me personally. It's something that I'm learning to work through because I feel like I've just been handed off multiple times through different agencies, and it doesn't feel good. But I've gotten to the point in my life where I really benefit when I do get a good counselor, when I do get a good health professional. And when I say good, it's not that they're bad, it's just personalities, um, just personalities and the way people go about handling me work better than others. They're all extremely knowledgeable and talented and wonderful people, but different stages of my life benefit more from different personality types and techniques, and I recognize that. So, in every exchange, I hope it's for the better, right? I'm trying to be optimistic because I feel I need this as an outlet, as a tool, as a resource. Therapy sucks, but it also helps. Therapy is painful, but yeah, it's healing. Um, Therapy is a vehicle for me. It allows for me to take a trip from one place to the next, for me to see things, discover things. You know, I think I will be on this journey for my lifetime. Um, but I hope along my travels, it will become it'll just become something I do, like eating breakfast. It's necessary. Um, and it really does help to kickstart your day. I hope that therapy becomes a thing that enriches my day, my week, my month, um, in a much delightful way, in a pleasing way, um, and is not needed like a prescription medicine for a severe wound that's healing, which is where I feel it is now. Like emotionally and psychologically, I feel that I have so many fresh wounds, um, so many fresh wounds. And I hope during my dedication to my mental health, to my emotional health, to my psychological health, that it will no longer, it'll go from being immediate physical healing of those wounds to physical therapy to just long time support. That's kind of what I'm thinking now. Depending on how the journey continues, it might shift. um I'm really excited and scared because it can go either way. I've been mishandled before, and that's not fun. But what I'm hoping is that through this conversation that I have today with my new counselor, that I will have enough courage to speak up for myself when things don't feel don't feel comfortable. Because that is a challenge that I have, is speaking up for myself, and I've had it since I was a child. But that is a place in my life that I want to grow. Um, yeah, I've had surges of anger these past 2 weeks that have been growing and welling up and coming out of nowhere. And so, hopefully, through unpacking today, if I do have an opportunity to do that even a little bit, I will be able to get to the source of that with assistance. I try to do a very good job of taking a breath to have a moment and check in with myself throughout the day. Um, because if I'm not okay, I need to recognize that. And nobody benefits, and who depend on me, and nobody benefits that care about me. If you care about me and you depend on me, you can't benefit from me not taking care of myself. I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it here, but I've shared it enough times with people, that you can't pour from an empty cup. And so if my cup is empty, if my cup is bare, if my cup is dry to the bone, I don't have anything. And so when I check in with myself, it's almost like, okay, how full is this glass? And on top of that, you're anticipating to pour. Do you have enough? Right? So in the same token of you can't pour from an empty glass, I still am learning to be. I don't want to get to the point where I'm empty and I'm still trying to give, right, out of nothingness. I'm hoping. Well, the newer goal, the updated goal, is to be mindful and ration off what I have to give, because it's like that same bad habit I have of riding around until I need gas, because I just put it off and put it off and put it off. But the reality is, I might know exactly how many miles it'll take me to get to my destination, but that does not account for that does not account for road closures, blocks, gas stations being out of service, things that are just outside of my control. But the things that are in my control is not waiting until it's empty, not waiting until the last minute. And so that same concept for my life. There's only so much of me to go around, and I do need to refill. So in that same breath, it's you can't pour from an empty cup, but you also can't anticipate giving all of yourself out so that you are empty. Right? So I can't pour from an empty cup, and I can't give so much of me so that when at the end of the day I am empty. So I don't feel like I'm empty. I do feel like I'm low. Yeah, so I don't know. How do you need something? How do you feel you need something so bad but can't control how often you get it or how all your access to it? That's frustrating. I can't I can't create organic situations that initiate self-healing. At least I don't think I know how to. I want to be better so bad. It hurts and it's frustrating. I want to do better so bad that it can be blinding. But I'm trying to have patience with myself. But there are aspects to this journey, to this ride, that are outside of my control, and that's difficult to that's difficult to that's difficult to handle at times. So I've been praying and trying to think of other things that I can do that allow for me to be me organically. As much as this is created for rants, it's a rant because it's unscripted. It's a rant because it's literally just me spitting off the crazy things that are firing in my brain. Like, yeah. So, as much as I would like to kick and scream, I have better use for my energy, and that it doesn't suit me. It doesn't suit me. There will be times, but the reason why I call this a rant, because it's ramblings. It's ramblings of this foolish girl, trying to get it right, trying to figure out how to get it right. So I've been praying about other things that I can do, that will help me on this journey, that is not relying on anyone else, because the only person that I am with 24 hours a day that I have control over is me. So hopefully that helps me counteract the limitations of therapy with assistance. I am grateful that this process, this transition, has only taken 2 weeks worth of sessions for this particular help, because it could have taken longer. I'm grateful that the new counselor reached out to me, and she seemed very sincere and enthusiastic about our partnership. So that is what makes me look forward to this session today. I feel God moving, and I know He is with me. I ask Him to guide my steps, and I try to allow myself to go where He leads me. But it's scary because sometimes the path to where you're going looks nothing like you think it should, and it's never comfortable. And I think that's the biggest challenge for me right now, is remembering that God's thoughts are not my thoughts and His ways are not my ways, but remembering that for every time I trusted Him to deliver me, every time that I trusted Him to carry me, He did. And realizing that truly He's not going to put more on me than I can bear. Because when I think back over my life, over times when they were uncomfortable, like today, and I when I think about the last time I went through something that I felt was difficult, it baffles me, because I don't even remember it being as difficult as it probably was, because God brought me out in such a miraculous way, in such an amazing way. And so I am trying to keep that proper perspective, even as it comes to my therapy journey, my self-growth, healing process. And so if there is anyone out here who finds this, I hope that you realize you're not alone. Our journeys are unique to the circumstances and the situations and our emotions and our reactions. But this process in general, the process of growth and change is uncomfortable. But I really do feel like it's worthwhile. And I'm going to encourage myself as I continue on this path. So I wish you all a wonderful day. Just remember that you are loved, you are needed, you are relevant, you are important, you are significant, you are amazing. And so you will have a wonderful day.